Hello everyone, Reggie Time here with another all pure 40 adult session on Poker Bros, and one I've been already playing for close to 2 hours and I am getting, well, battered. Wouldn't be the right way to put it, but we're losing, and we are mostly losing to this gentleman who's playing every fucking hand going. He's probably got close to a 70% range, I would say. And he is crushing me currently for $50. And we also are losing to this player, another maniac, to the tune of $51. So we had around $100 down, more than I thought. And I don't think I've done an awful lot wrong. What we are going to start doing is making some enormous raises when K Powers or MC come into pots with very strong hands to try and isolate them, because once they come in, they don't go out again. K Powers has got a huge hard on for donking. This is kind of what's been happening so far. Just flops that we can just do literally nothing with. Or sometimes I'll flop like a huge draw and he'll donk big and just like, oh, now what? Nothing we can do here. We're not going to see, but did not expect this dude to come along, but why wouldn't he when he's another table hero? So as you can see, the games here are absolutely out of this world, and my job right now is just to keep my cool, to keep doing the right things, and just wait for things to turn around, I guess. That's the game plan. Probably going to play for another hour, I think, because that'll take us to 2:30 in the AM. It'll be damn hard to walk away from these games if we're losing and these guys are still playing, but got to have some discipline. I've got things to do tomorrow that require me to be up at 8:30 in the AM. So we quite simply can't be up all night. Hopefully this will be the start of the recovery. An SPR of 2, we're just going to go bet big, shove turn. Unless he decides to bet on my behalf, and then we should just raise. Donking seems to be what folk want to do tonight. So let's see if our aces can hold, or if they need to get there. Let's see if they can get there. They just need to hold. Good start. Happy days. So we drag one back. Donking is, well, let's face it, it's usually the play of a weak player or a very good player. Typically on this club it seems to be, on this app, seems to be more a player favoured by very weak players than particularly strong ones. I do try and work some donking into my ranges, but I try to do it with better ranges and just, me have pair, so me bet. I like to think I've got a little bit more not a lot more sophistication to my donking ranges, but a little bit more. This guy has just ran so hot though. I think earlier, I think it was a different player than Chips. It was somebody else. He was almost equally as bad as him. I had raised to $1 under the gun. This guy had, the guy in the Chips' seat had raised to something like $2.40 or something stupid like that. K Powers came along, obviously. I had Ace Jack. I popped it back up to, I think it was something like $12, because the guy in the chip seat was pretty damn short. I didn't care about him. K Winters came along, flop came down 8 high, he bet tiny. I just called. Turn was a nothing card. He went all in and I folded, and he had king 8 off suit, which he had put something like 30 blinds in with pre-flop, and it was like, right, okay, we're at a good table, Reg, but you're going to need to show some winners down, because they're not going to let you check down anything with showdown value that isn't value bettable, and your bluffs aren't going to work. So, although against his K Powers character, he does just seem to have a trend for just, if he has something, he bets it, and if he doesn't have anything, he bets 40 cents or nothing. So, starting to pick up some useful information on him. It's just, are we going to have time to use it before either A, he goes away for the night, or B, I have to go away for the night. It's kind of a race against the clock now. I mean, if nothing happens and we don't get there against him and we don't make any hands and we have to win the session, then that's just the way it is, because as we all know, cash game poker is just one long session. But it would be nice just to even the score a little bit. Fishy logic, I know, but I'm a human being, I'm not a robot, and I'd very much like to relieve, if not all, then some of K Power's what I consider to be ill-gotten gains. But we'll see. We're not going to be short of action, I can promise you that. These games are hot tonight. We just haven't managed to capitalise yet, which is, well, but it's all good. We can log off and we can wake up in the morning and the sun's probably going to come up and everything I care about is still going to be there in place, and we just do the mantra of the loser and say, we go again tomorrow, we go again, which is absolutely the mantra of the loser. But there you go. Sometimes in this game you are the loser, and that is certainly me tonight. I don't even want really good hands against K Powers. I just want top pair. Just give me a top pair, and I'll show you someone who will willingly put 100 big blinds in. Check back our top pair, no kicker here. Only one bad card was really on the turn, that would be an ace. Easy call here on the turn if he leads. Easy bet small if he doesn't. Don't jam all in here. There's another table hero. We just need to call with our top pair. We are not in great shape. Let's see if he wants to run it twice. The man from Del Monte, he said yes. That was a waste of an ace, wasn't it? That was a waste of an ace when he gets there on the turn. And we chop it up. Which is fair. It was a fair fight, and we got the chop. resisting the temptation to start opening wider. I'm just sticking to my 1.5 blind open strategy. More than happy to do a dance with MC here. And I think we just put the lot in. Jordan hasn't got a stack that concerns us. Just a standard 11x open from chips there. In a flip. And we're going to get lucky. 3 times. Nah, not 3, mate. We don't do it 3. We'll do it 2 with you, but not 3. Should have done it 3. You should have done it 3, Reggie. Thinking a fair fight, 2's the way to go. I am getting a spanking tonight. Probably around 3 buy-ins down. See what comedy happens this time when the 6x open goes in and it's called by our main man K Powers. We'll have to come back to this. Pavel Nedved is a regular. I'm not going to 3-bet queens from the small blind versus his under the gun open. The 540 bet was called. The $10 bet was called. I'll have to get back to these queens, I guess. So let's see what's going on here. King 5. King 5, 6x opens pre-flop. What a time to be alive. And that king shouldn't change much unless he had ace king of clubs. And he didn't, and we win. Very unlikely he's going to be barreling any other ace kings on that board, or we block king queen tremendously hard. I guess like ace king clubs, king 10 clubs, king jack clubs are the only way to get to that river with a king most of the time. Apart from pocket kings and ace king, of course. Sorry, apart from pocket kings, of course. I think he shuts down with all these offsuit ace kings or non-flush draw ace kings on turns, if he even c-bets them. We don't want to be getting our good hands against a regular though. We want to be getting our good hands against the whales. I mean, I'll take them against anyone, of course, but we want to be getting them against the whales wherever possible. Come to think of it, I should really be topping up on this table. It's a $40 max buy-in table, so we can't top up. Okay. Chill out. Chill out. we'll raise into Rainbow MC's big blind. And we'll flop nothing, which is just about standard. Now all we need is a donk bet to complete the misery. I think we're obliged to see bet here. Trivial fold. If I'm going to get owned in the session, which I have been royally owned, I'd much rather be owned by the bad players than the good players. When you're getting owned by the good players, you feel out of your depth. When you're getting owned by the bad players, you just know that's just the way it is sometimes. You're not being outplayed, you're being outflopped and outturned and outrivered at you. And I can cope with that far better than when I feel I've been completely destroyed by a regular. Being destroyed by regulars can stay with you for days, if not longer. Being destroyed by whales who just get there with unlikely holdings, it doesn't even stay with me after the end of the session. It's just like, well, that was annoying, but never mind. I already know we're not getting out of the hole this evening. The only question now is, do we climb a little bit of our way out of it, or do we dig ourselves deeper into it? This player hasn't been out of line too much, but they have done some 3-betting. Not going to 4-bet the jacks this deep though. We are going to spike top set though. Video run good. Is it going to be real? Wasn't real earlier when the ace king didn't beat the jacks, but this guy's got a bit of a hard on for just pot C betting. So be delighted if that happened. He's gone with half pot this time. I want to put a small raise in straight away. Not that if he has got a hand like aces or kings, don't want any cards to come off that might scare him. Also, I want to give him the opportunity to 3-bet us. Sadly, he just folds. Just let the 6-5 go. If he had more chips, jaw run. Could have been persuaded that either isolating or just over limping were reasonable plays, but we've got this kind of nitty regular here in the small blind and another reg in the big blind, and Jolron who's got 15 bigs. So it's not really an isolation spot, and it's not really a particularly attractive over limp spot. You're getting paranoid that K Powers is going to disappear, because that would really spoil my day. K Powers and chips going at it again. They get a hitchhiker this time. Don't get him, Slingo. Do not get him. Do not want K Powers losing another $32 here. Don't mind K Power to winning another $32. Don't want him losing then. Well, there you go. Didn't think K Powers had that kind of fold in him. But we can now rule out some weak draws from his aggression range. But as I said earlier, I think his range for betting is just any pair. I think he checks when he doesn't have a pair, and I think he bets when he does have a pair. I'm pretty confident in that read. Still being on starting stack at this table and being $55 from profit on this table is rather depressing. Not an especially enticing flop, but we'll have a little stab. We've got some straight draws around the 8. We've got the ever-present overcard that we compare on the turn. Well, not the ever-present. Sometimes you don't have the overcard, but when you've got an ace, you always have the top pair turnouts. Oh, maybe they're not always out, but you know what I mean. I'm rambling a little bit. Senile old recreational player. That's what Reggie is these days. A pretty looking hand here. MC goes with a small ISO. Jolrun's preventing us from 3-betting. Not that I think I would anyway. Very unlikely that Millie is going to squeeze because he or she, probably she, seems particularly non-aggressive. And we get a flop that is about as interesting as a staying at home in the rain with my current wife. Don't even get a turn sweat. The turn sweat was not forthcoming. And we pick up a good shot on the river. MC finally bets. Is it too late, or is he or she going to get some value from Jolrun on the river? I didn't think they were. 5-3 suited. We're going to defend this. The flops are not with us tonight. I think we can safely say that right now. Although, to be fair, when you're defending the 5-3 suited, you'd argue that he's an awful lot of good fortune. Perhaps that's even just a fold pre-flop in a cash game. In a tournament with antes, it's never a fold versus 2.5x maybe is in a cash game. King Jack, couldn't find the value, but in the end wouldn't have worked for him, of course. Oh no, K Powers has gone. K Powers has left the building. That is deeply frustrating as we look at Queen Jack suited, which was exciting me until we saw the 7x open. Didn't dissuade Angelo. Angelo was not dissuaded by that 7x or by the big C bet or by this turn. Oh, I thought the turn shove was for sure coming. And it goes anyway, and Ace King just decides to continue flicking it. I mean, absurd raise size pre, really bad C bet on that board, and then compounds it all with a truly dreadful check call on the river. And I'm losing in these games tonight, not long term. Tonight I am losing in these games where everybody around me appears to be completely losing their minds. Poor old Reggie isn't getting a sniff. He's just not getting a sniff. I think if the table with chips on breaks, then I think we'll make it a short video. I mean, while there's just these two guys, I'm going to be sticking around and playing because they are both very bad players. But I think there's got to be a reason. Oh no, someone's joined. Maybe this keeps the game going. Chips is loving life. It's just a casual 7.5x. Slingo's just saying, come on mate, I'm with you. And then we have a third player who hopefully doesn't mind throwing his money around. This table's quite dull by comparison. Regular, knit, whale. We've got a regular knit, whale, and a shit knit. So this, by comparison, is a bad table, but we still do have somebody V-pipping over 50% with 100 blinds, so happy to be at the table. Although we wouldn't mind getting dealt some cards that were relatively high and the same colour, or just relatively high actually. I'll take relative. What I won't take is fucking whiffed pocket threes, 8-3 suited and 6-2 softs. Those aren't the tools you need to extricate yourself from a hole. Well, we've been upgraded to 8-5 off. Well, that is a nice upgrade. We're upgraded to Queen 10, which is something, I suppose. Overcard and some straight draws around the Queen and the 10, but we get led into for pot, so that's a no-no. Not going to start limping with rubbish like 9-6. 8-4, 9-6, come on. What is going on here? I'm going to go with a 3-bet versus Rainbow MC to try and achieve isolation, which we do. We flop ourselves a top pair to go with it. Gut shot here. I think we'll tear one off for getting 4-1. Make a c-bet with our king 9. Continue betting small with our ace 10. Turn a double gut shot with the jack 9. Not paying that price, so not. No. Continue betting the king 9. We check the ace 10 to allow lots and lots of potential bluff hands to go for it. It's diabolical river here. Can't fold here. We checked to bluff catch, so that's what we'll try and do. And he was doing who knows what with king jack. And we can't call here. Not on that run out. Sadly, that is not the run out we were hoping for. But we did take down a reasonable size pot on this table. How much did we win? $26. Gotta be happy with that. With just an ace 10. Millie's made it 5.5x. I'm going to call with Jack 10 suited here because 3-betting would be completely pointless. And we're folding the Jack 10. And we are isolating with the aces. Giving up with the Jack 10. Come on, Angelo. Give us all. Oh, fuck you, Angelo. Fuck you, Angelo. Come on, kid. You table heroes, you're meant to call those bets. You're meant to limp call 5x. Just what you do. How would our Jack 10 have gone? It would have got its ass severely kicked by 2 kings. Is this table even worth continuing with? Regular, knitfish, regular. Yeah, it's worth continuing with. We have a table hero. We always stick around if there's one table hero. It's not a particularly good game. But if I wasn't nearing the end of my session, I would absolutely be switching it out and either looking for a new table or creating a new table. I think our ace jack has enough showdown value here not to need to bet. King's obviously a good card for us to bluff if we wanted to bluff. I don't feel we need to, and now I feel we can probably just value bet. Try and get picked off by any jack or any pair basically. Vanilla Gorilla. The loose cannon is hurling abuse at one of his fellow mammals. Come on, we've got 15 minutes. Let's at least have it interesting. I'll take a 200 blind pot and I'll take 50-50 on it being us that win it. Stab our double gutter on the turn. Ooh, 80 cents. Every little helps. It has been a particularly card dead 3 hours. Well, around 3 hours by the time I finish. Open ender. Let's have a little bit. When you've been as card dead as I have, when you see the open ender, well, it excites you. Get the call. Get the brick turn, but I think this is probably in a limped pot, a board where we're just going to go 3 streets. I mean, if he's in there with the king, then we're going to lose. He did snap call the turn though, which usually isn't indicative of a particularly strong hand. It's be a nice time to flop a set against Angelo. Nope, no set. But we're not going to follow the no set, no bet rule because it is a board that we want to be betting probably close to 100% of the time from as the early position pre-flop raiser. I'd like a 3, but I'd take a hat. Chips has gone 3x. We are going to raise to $10 and we are not going to fold to chips as we lose with our pocket 3s as expected. Chips calls. Now we just need a pair, which we have. So things are going to plan. We want to try and get $30 in over 2 streets. I think 8 works fine here. And we shove 22 into 36 on the turn if he calls. But he folds, but never mind. We dragged a $20 pot down uncontested. Maybe we could have got more from chips pre-flop there. I mean, 25 big blind 3 bet seems excessive. Even versus a 7.5x open. Just glad to flop an ace and take the pot down, to be frank. Well, glad to flop an ace. I wasn't glad to take the pot down. I was wanting to take the pot down with much more in it, but you don't always get what you want in life, do you? Ask my wife. She knows all about not getting what she wants. She's been stuck with me for 17 years, a bit of a cunt. Or something like that, 16, 17, don't know, she'd know, I don't, wait, something like that. Pocket Pocket fours. Can we flop a set? We're going to keep trying. No. The answer to that. Fuck a bit in that flop as well, by the way. Angelo has min raised. We are very deep and we have the button. So we're going to call. 4-ball. Nope. I think there's a very little chance that pocket fours are going to be good either. We get squeezed, which is very annoying. And as much as I want to call, we just can't call with Jack 9. First call was already loose enough. Second call would have been just bad. Vanilla Gorilla goes with the pot size c-bet this time, as we've seen him do in the past. Given he half pot folded last time, I'm going to suggest that his pot size c-bet has a lot more value in it than his half pot size c-bet does. I don't think you need to be a genius to figure that one out. This is a little bit loose, but we do have Vanilla Gorilla in the small blind. And again, this is a little bit loose from middle position, but the games aren't especially aggressive pre-flop, so I'm not expecting to get 3-bet too often, although Vanilla Gorilla does like a 3-bet. More exciting than we've got queens at the table where we hope Chips is still seated. Chips is still seated, but Chips has folded. That is a significant disappointment to me. But we do find someone making a raise. It's always a bit dicey when we 3-bet with queens because you don't really want to see the 4-bet come piling in. But you don't want to just flat with them either. Don't 4-bet Wheaty. Good. And that's as good a flop as we could hope for. That Wheaty has any of them hands. Who knows what fucking Slingo could have, but we're going to bet and commit. We're going to fold on the river with that hand. And we take it down. And they're not too disappointed to take it down on that board texture. It's not a board where we want to see too many more cards, because there's lots of technical ones. Going to make our first light 3-bet of the evening against a regular with the King Deuce suited. This is not a particularly good table now. Yeah, it's alright still. Ignore me. Ignore me. Guess I'm just being too fussy. You got 2 fish at the table. How can it be a bad table? Just isn't it, is it? Grow up, Reg. Is that we dug our way out of the hole a little bit since the start of the video. Only down 43 at that table. Only down 47. Yes, we've definitely get a little bit back since time. We're up 15 there. So yeah, we've unprofitable session with 5 minutes to go, but a profitable video at the moment. That includes losing a 100 blind flip. Well, 50 blinds each, but 100 blind pot flip. As much as I want to play pots with chips, the queen 8 off just isn't going to be up to the job. Can't be raising the queen 8 off too often against people that you just need to show winners to. It just doesn't win enough. Right, so we have a raise and a min 3 bet from Angelo. This is the pot I feel I want to be in. Just hope this guy doesn't 4-bet, which he doesn't. We flop a flush draw on an A-side board, so we're probably going to put some money in to try and realise our equity here, but we're certainly going to try to. Oh, one of these two cunts behind doesn't raise. That would make me sad. Green. Nope. And now we can't put any more money in. And Angelo is going to try and force us to. Very sad. Very sad times. Angelo clearly has a very good hand by his estimation. Doesn't necessarily mean it is a good hand. Just by his estimation, it's a good one. Okay. Angelo doesn't have a good read, Reggie. Angelo was just ready to go off. So given he went off, makes me happy with the call pre. Makes me happy with the flop peel. But sadly, I'm not happy about anything else. As you can see, as these tables begin to get slightly worse, it's because people like Angelo eventually go broke and they are replaced by regs. I wonder if there's many regs on the waitlist here. Is it not showing any? Nope. I mean, there should be a waitlist a mile long for some of these tables. This is my dilemma now. It's 2:15. I struggle to get to sleep within like an hour of the end of a session. But we are 150 big blinds deep with chips, which is a really good spot to be in with Slingo the other side of us. So I think I'm just going to continue at least for half an hour. It's like a turn card. We want to barrel pretty damn big. Oh, give over edge. No, no. Oh, then we check because I couldn't fucking click the right buttons. That's annoying. That is annoying. I was trying to bet $8.70. Should have just done this ridge and just laddered it up that way. We could have got somewhere near $8.70. We definitely missed some value there because I think he probably wasn't folding the turn. That's annoying. I'm going to stop doing the typing the bets in. I'm just going to pick a number and then click 2/3 pot or pot and then work my way backwards or forwards to it. Going forward rather than being too like, oh, I want to bet exactly 870 here. Oh, well, let's try and flop something nice. Okay. Need to start. When the pot size C bet comes in, or the 3/4 pot, we're just out of there. Or the 2/3 pot as that was. Oh, it appears we have another absolute moron at the table. Because anyone who min 3 bets from the big blind, unless it's a misclick, is a fucking moron. And let's not pretend otherwise. Yeah, fuck it, we'll give it half an hour. But I don't think we're going to continue recording because I'd be quite horrified to experience what I experienced last week, which was making videos that were too long and then being unable to upload them. So sadly, you guys aren't going to see the end of this man versus fish episode, but yeah, sadly you're not going to see it. I shall, if there's anything interesting happens in terms of me getting buried or getting back in it, I shall report back on my next video. If I don't talk about it, then I just wasted half an hour of my life. We will see this chip stand out though, because he's overbet this flop. We have top pair, no kicker. Pick up a flush draw now to go with our top pair, no kicker. He downsizes in terms of percentage of pot bet, and we know Chips doesn't mind a bluff because he did it earlier. It's hard to see what bluffs he could have here. It's really hard to see what bluffs he could have here, but he could just have some random stuff that we just can't contemplate, or he might just have the best hand. But getting such a great price, 8-7, getting such a great price, we cannot fault him. Interesting that he used a small size with a strong hand there. Hopefully something I can go ahead and use it. Tell you what, we'll just continue recording, and if the video never sees the light of day because it's too big, then fuck my life. Yeah, against these 3 players, I want to try to see as many flops as possible with these types of hands. Here we flopped a top pair against Angelo. I've just done the type in the bet in there, said I wasn't going to do anymore. And we've missed with the Jack 7, so we can ignore that hand now. Angelo comes along. Not a great turn, but against Angelo, we don't really care. We're going to check back here and let him bluff the river, because he ran that absurd bluff with the Jack 5 earlier. So we're going to give him a chance to do the same. And now we're just going to give him another chance by betting tiny. Nope. We tried to induce and we failed. Not going to raise a king 5 against Angelo, that would be a stretch too far. I'm going to raise the Jack 9 suited though, with 2 fish in the blinds. we are going to go for a ISO race that won't work against chips. Maybe it will work. I didn't think we were getting through Slingo, but maybe we did. And here we have a very easy c-bet of around 140. And here we have a very easy c-bet of around $3. And we also have 2 aces, so things are getting exciting. That's not too exciting. Here we're going to bet about 4. Pick up the open ender. Checking back the ace high, the 8 high there, and we're going to make this around that. And that's just going to be a chop. We're not going to waste chips trying to get him off a chop. And this is going to be a give up because we block all the draws. Oh man. Oh man, we could have got him off that one. I just looked at that board and thought, well, we block every draw that there is. So therefore, his calling range is going to be much more weighted towards made hands. I'm going to go for a check shove with our aces here. Come on, Angelo, do your thing. Check shove's too big, but check raise. And just hope this dude here hasn't woke up with the set. Angelo's in with just top pair. Can we do a hold? Can we do a hold? Yay, we did a hold. Angelo, you may be a session saver or a damage limiter. Oh, Angelo's reloaded. You love to see it. You love to see it. That Jack 9 suited hand was disappointing, wasn't it? He had literally one of the only hands that we could have bluffed him off on the river. But when you have all the spades on the 2 spade board and you have the straight draws too, and a whale check calls you twice, your hand just blocks way too many draws to want to bluff the river as well. When you've been called twice on ace and queen X by a fish. It's sad when they do show you that particular combination. But yeah. Bluffing in that situation with that combination would have been suicide long term. Well, I think we're clawing back. We came into the video like 100 down. And now we're not 100 down anymore. 36 up. That's 21 down. 72. So we've clawed about 30 back. We'll try and isolate. Wasn't expecting the limp fold there. Jackpot Brad comes in and cannot wait for the big blind. He posts, so we know he's an idiot. Queen Jack, that looks like a hand I'm going to be interested in. I wonder what we do if chips makes it $3 or more. We probably have to pitch it then. It doesn't make it $3 or more though. No, it's just a terrible hand multi-way out of position. Getting a lot of trouble with it. See what would have happened to our Queen Jack. And on a folding pro makes it 5.5x. We'll just jump out of the way. We will not flop a set here. And we will not c-bet multi-way either. So we get back to see what would have happened in the Queen Jack hand. We would have ended up with a middle pair that was probably good, judging by the way post flop's gone. Check back on the turn. On the flop there seems to have invalidated, given that 3 players have all wanted to put 10 blinds in on the turn. Here's Queen and chips. This could be the one. It's a reasonable size here. 10 blinds. 10 blinds seems reasonable. Felt that we just had a cold call there, and we did. We flop ourselves a second pair, which could get messy. This one could also get messy. This one isn't going to get messy. It's going to be a call. It's going to be a call 2, I think. It's going to be a give up now. It's going to be another check contemplate raising over a small bet. And it's just to give up. Even though the ace, we could try and rep the ace, it wouldn't have worked. Oh no. Oh no. This guy's taking a weird line, and I'm going to have to pay it off, I think. And we are miles ahead, which is nice. And we hold, and we fold here. We fold here. That was a nice hold. That line just didn't make sense. It was just strange. Didn't like it. Who likes paying off 50 big blind bets with second pair? Not this guy. This guy doesn't like doing it, but there are instances where you just have to do it, and that was one of them. Just didn't make sense. Just called the flop and then decided to lead the turn. And when things don't make sense, it's often because there's an awful lot of bullshit going on. But it was a nice pot. The nice pot. Come on, J-Fish, you can do it. Don't you dare win it multiple times, J-Fish. Won it multiple times, J-Fish. Oh, he has done. Three. Oh, never mind. More forward have got us there. Never mind. J-Fish loses all his money. And as I used to say to my students years ago when I was coaching, when you see players like J-Fish and Chips and things like that, you need to put like an imaginary egg timer above their heads, because they're going broke at some point. And you need to be the person that's in there trying to be the one making them go broke by playing some more marginal hands against them and looking to get in pots with them, looking to flop good value like we have here with our wheel, and then looking to extract good value. It's going to be difficult in this pot, it's a limped pot, but we'll try anyway. 10 seems like a good card. 10 seems like a good card to go for an overbet on. Snaps us off and we win. Things are starting to come together. Still a losing session, but what I like about this video is we came into it knowing we were losing, and we've demonstrated good mental game, good composure, and hopefully it's helping you guys be something of an education. I'm not going to 3-bet here versus a 6x because I do not want to open myself up to a 4-bet against the 6x under the gun open. But we obviously have to play the hand versus two particularly bad players. Don't think there's going to be too much we're going to be able to do here. I mean, Ace Queen could easily be the best hand, but it's going to get damn expensive to find out. I would say this part of my game, in terms of like getting stuck versus bad players and not losing my composure, is absolutely one of my biggest strengths as a poker player. Make a small 3-bet here just to isolate Angelo. Don't mind if we get 4-bet, we just fold. Flop a good shot. If Angelo donks, so it's game over. Angelo's going to give us a chance. He's going to give us a chance to hit that elusive 10 ball. Boo. Yeah, going back to my point is, I mean, I've chatted with so many players down the years and I've observed so many conversations where players have just lost their minds against Wales, and just a session where they should have lost maybe 4 buy-ins, they've just lost 12 or 10 or something. And that's not something that happens too often to me. I don't have many huge losing sessions, because when I feel like I'm losing control, I will just quit, even if it's a good game. And more often than not, I remain in control and continue to play relatively well. Doesn't always get you out of the hole. Doesn't always get you halfway out the hole. Sometimes you do get deeper in the hole because things continue to not go great for you. But long term, my mental strength in these situations, I think, is definitely a big tick in the plus column for my overall game. So we are definitely going to wind it up soon because it's now 25 to 3 in the AM. So how far back have we got? That's a plus 35. That's now only a minus 22. That's a minus 13. And it's a minus 55. So we're on a minus 68. And we've got Ace King. So maybe clawed. Well, we'll see after this pot. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it feels like we've clawed about 50 back during the course of the video. Make that 5180. So good stuff, Richie. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, despite it being a losing session, and I am going to have to nip off soon. Oh no, look at Chips though. It's just won a big pot. Motherfucker. And someone's joined called Big Dick Willie. And you just know Big Dick Willie's going to be absolutely fucking useless. Oh man, what a table. Got this dude. This dude. This dude. I'm thinking about walking away. This goes against every single bone in my bum hunting body. It goes against every single instinct that I have as a poker player. You wouldn't believe what a dilemma I'm in here. I mean, Chips, he's just got a fucking enormous stack. 200 blinds deep with somebody who is utterly atrocious at poker. And I'm thinking of hitting the stand up next big blind button. Doesn't feel right. Does not feel right. No, we're going to have to give it another 10 or 15 minutes at least. We're going to have to. Chips is going off. This looks like about a $2 bet to me. And we take it down against Chris 10. Chris 10's a shit reg. Chris 10 doesn't play very well, but when he stacks you, he lobs throwables at you and generally lets you know how marvellous he is. Basically, Chris 10 is just a shit individual. He's just shit. He's just a shit human. Shit at poker. Yeah. Strikes me as all that's wrong with the Western world. Somebody who is unconsciously incompetent while simultaneously being overconfident. Yeah, you're a cunt, Chris 10. There's no other way to put it, mate. There's just no other way to put it. You've got to call a spade a spade. You've got to call a cunt. And you are a cunt. we're going to give it until our next big hand. The next pot we play over, well no, not the next pot we play because we're not in control of pot size too much. The next very attractive hand we get, be it pre-flop or post-flop, is going to be our last. What was that message? It's not about videos going too long, is it? I hope not. So I'll be pipping these tables tonight. I'm assuming it's going to be quite high given the amount of whoppers. Yep, up at 30. Up at 30 at every table. For those of you who are like, oh Reggie, he's an 8. Nope, not always. In the right games, be careful of playing a few more hands. I have to raise this with chips in, well, basically at this table. It wasn't earlier when it was heavily isolated, it was an unplayable hand, but as the pre-flop raiser in an unopened pot, then it becomes playable until post-flop at least, when there's nothing we can do to continue. He's going to be glad when I leave. Going to have all these fish to himself unless another regular sat on the wait list. There's observers, but we don't know if there's a wait list or not. Vanilla Gorilla and Angelo going at it. I don't like Vanilla Gorilla. We're rooting for Angelo here. Sadly, the person we rooted for couldn't continue. Much as I want to get in pot with Angelo, the 5-3 off isn't going to do it. Vanilla Gorilla is getting his rag up, he's getting his temper up, is the Vanilla Gorilla. It's like, oh, you will fold pre-flop. I'm going to make it so big you have to fold. Oh fuck, you didn't fold. We've all been there. We've all been there. And we'll all be there again. Interesting 3.5x pot bet by chips there on the King Queen 10 after limping the button. Pocket sixes. And we're going to flop a set. Is this going to be the crescendo, the Ace King? We could be getting very close to the end, boys. We're going to flop a set versus Big Dick Willie. And we're going to play a big one with the Ace King. I feel it in my bones. We're raising Angelo. We're not flopping sets with the sixes. But we are 3-betting Angelo. Vanilla Gorilla, who's been very aggressive lately. He might just start beating his chest. No, he doesn't. But Angelo does come along and we get a flop where we are probably still ahead. Angelo checks. No reason to bet here. I think we're going to peel most turns if he bets. Board's still making it hard for us to get away from our sixes. We're not going to fall to Angelo here. Could be Spewy. We're not going to fall the sixes either. Although I'm not really in love with the situation. really crummy run out. It's a really crummy run out, but we're getting a fantastic price. Deuces, oh man, literally 1 pip better than us. I don't know how the sixes did either. Did the sixes win to make up for a little bit? Yeah, the sixes did win, but Angelo took us for 16 with pocket deuces. That's disappointing. Didn't think he was strong. Never mind. Never mind. Maybe he's doing that with deuces. Is he also doing it with? Because I'm presuming he's bluffing with his deuces. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not bluffing with his deuces. Maybe he's just mashing buttons with his deuces. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it feels like if he's capable of putting deuces there, that for a small size, that our call isn't terrible. Because if there's one thing I know about most of the big whales is when they have a big hand, they do not bet small. So when I see a whale betting small, I usually assume weakness. But sadly, the flip side of that coin is that they are often betting weak hands that are better than our bluff catchers, as that was there. Maybe that was bad. Trying to think back to the bluff we saw Angelo making earlier with that Jack 5 off. I think he was using bigger sizes. We had a big pot, but that's not the big pot that I want to end on. I'll say a big pot. Only $16, but I'm going to go a bit wide here on Chips' big blind. And we've been 3 bets, so hang on, wait. If Chips come along, we might have been obliged to defend super wide there. Overlimp the button. This is the only seat I would overlimp 6-5 off, but Angelo's in. We have the button. Ben CB, who's clearly a bad regular, hasn't raised enough from the small blind, so we're going to be seeing a flop unless Vanilla Gorilla decides to go bonkers. Because we know Angelo's calling. We already know that. So are we. Oh. It's a snap half pot C-bet. Not particularly impressed with Ben CB's line in this hand so far, and he checks the turn. She's pretty much waving a white flag to Angelo. Ben CB finds a check raise, which does surprise me. Get him, Angelo. You're not going to get him, Angelo. You're going to get got, Angelo. That's what's happening here. Angelo is getting got. Wow. How does a man like Angelo find a fold with 3 10s there? Shaking my head. It's very possible it was a very good fold, but nevertheless, not one I would expect him to make. This table is just dead, isn't it? It's as stale as a tramp's best. Yeah, this one we're just out of here no matter what. It's just such a dreadful table. And we're going to have another go against Angelo. Check back and let Angelo do his small bet thing. Maybe. Nope, Angelo has nothing. Right, one more orbit. We tried. But the hole was just too deep. And we need to be nearly 5 to 3 in the morning. Just cannot be up all night. I'd love to be. I would love to be. Got the second iPad charged up. I could have easily put a 7-8 hour session in. Right, so that's the shit table dead. Four more hands to get Angelo. This is your 4-hand warning, Reggie. 3 more hands to get Angelo. And we've got 3 more hands to get Chips because this isn't going to be the one. Wow, action. Ace 4, Ace 3, King 7. All put 40 blinds in each before the flop. And I'm losing. Two more hands to get Angelo. And one more hand to get Chips because this dude is no more. Another monster pot incoming. Get him, Chips. Oh, Chips has got him all right. Chips has got him good. This is the one. This is the one against Angelo. Well, it has to be the one. Oh no, it's one more. If this one goes tipped up, we've got one more chance. And the ace is holding. Oh, you've gone for it multiple times, Chips. Could have been pure genius to go for it twice, Chips. Oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Chips just loses them both. That is fucking brutal for the chipster. That is brutal. What a fucking shame for the chipster. Last hand. I can't bring myself not to play it. It's the last hand of the video. Can't bring myself to fold the Queen 7 suited versus Angelo, which may be a decision I live to regret. No, we only lost $1. I can live with that because we deserve to lose more when you're opening the Queen 7 suited under the gun. But it was the last hand of the video and it was our last chance to play a pot with Angelo. So there we go. No more hands. Did sit out of them all, didn't I? Yes. No more hands. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We didn't get out of the hole, but we climbed our way 20 to 25% of the way out. So we'll take that. And I think it's been some good content. So take care, everybody. See you all again soon. Don't know when, but see you all again soon. Bye-bye for now.